Hey guys, welcome back and welcome to my little secret garden that I haven't shown you guys yet. So the other day when we were shopping, I mentioned the secret garden when we were picking up some stuff to plant here. And here's the backstory. Some of you may know this, and there's a lot of new faces in here, so a lot of you may not know this, but YouTube is not my full-time job. I actually have a 9-to-5 career in the corporate world, and I work in data and analytics. Now, the cool thing about where I work is we have a community garden here, and I think I put in an application maybe like 2 years ago to have my own little plot, and I was finally selected this year, and I was like, oh my gosh, like it's finally happening. So when I got back from our trip from the Cotswolds in Chelsea, I came in and I started to turn the bed over. I added some compost, I added Beaverton starter fertilizer just to really charge up the soil a bit. So I kind of prepped the whole area, and I already planted some things without you guys, but we do have some things to plant today. Now I did get things planted in a little bit late, but nonetheless, everything is growing beautifully. Now low key, I'm like competing with everybody else here because I'm like, well, I want my bed to be the best. I'm the flower girl and the tomato girl, so I want to just outperform everybody. But really, every garden here is so beautiful. And I know there's some master gardeners here too. And I'm looking at their beds and I'm like, oh my gosh, they are beautiful. So anyways, the plan for today is to plant some of the things that we picked up together. I also did go back to that sale because I can't resist. I picked up some flowers that I want to plant in today as well. And then I'll just kind of give you the lay of the land and show you this entire space. So this is part of the community garden, and I don't think this is the only one here on campus. I think there's another rooftop garden somewhere. But anyways, this space here has all of these beautiful cedar raised beds, and the space goes all the way to the fence over there. And then there's some beautiful shrubs and trees around us right over here. And then the garden beds continue on this side. So you can see a lot of people are way ahead of the game this year, and they've planted up these gardens way ahead of me. But let me walk you guys to my bed so you can see how cute it looks. We have a ton of work to do, but I at least want to show you what I've already planted. And it's so fun to see how creative people are. You can see everybody's like individuality come out. And I definitely want to plan to have more than one bed next year. Okay, so here is what I've planted so far. You guys already know me. You know I'm going to be planting a lot of flowers, of course. Over here, I planted some zinnia. I think these are going to be the ballerina ones that I planted, if I'm not mistaken. And then I also planted more zinnias over here, and I think this might be one of Dawn Creek's varieties. I'll make sure to pop up a picture for you guys on the screen. Now over here, I've planted 10 dahlias, and you can see they're taking their time to come up, and dahlias usually do take time to come up. However, I'm not really concerned because they need at least 100 days to bloom. So they're going to have plenty of time to get to their full size, especially because we have such a long growing season here. They'll really bloom all the way until October or until we have our first frost. So I'm not concerned about the dahlias at all. Now I've planted 4 tomato plants at each of the posts here, and these are all going to be cherry tomatoes. And there's 2 different varieties. So these right here with the thicker stem, I think these were from Kevin's Epic Seeds, and these are tropical sunset cherry tomatoes. I think I was drawn to them because they're supposed to be sweet and they have a really beautiful look to them. Like they're kind of like stripy a little bit. And then the 2 tomatoes on this side over here are Brad's Atomic Grape. Now these are probably one of the most beautiful cherry tomatoes that I've ever seen. They're like tri-colored almost. They have dark, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of red. And they're so stunning, and you can see they're putting on quite a bit of size. And when I planted these, I added even more Biotone to their holes. There's Biotone starter fertilizer all over the beds, and then I came in with land and sea and compost just to top everything off. And one of the rules about the garden here is everything has to be organic, which works really well because for all of these products I only use organic anyway. So the thought about these tomatoes is we kind of want to grow, like put in posts right here and then create like a little bit of an arch so they can grow up. I'd love to get your guys' feedback and see if you've done that before. So it'd almost be kind of like that right there, how they're doing it, but we wouldn't use any of the cattle panel. We would just do like a PVC pipe kind of going up like this, and then have these trained up on them. So it'd kind of be like a little moon arch of tomatoes. I think that would just be more interesting, and it would provide like a good structure for these to grow. Of course, these can get very, very tall, and growing them upright, we do that in our garden, but these beds are so high that it would probably be very difficult to reach them. So that's why I'm thinking if we do like that arch, it'll be easy for me to harvest from. And I'm also just excited to be able to have some veggies here to like come during lunch break and just snack on some cherry tomatoes because I love me some tomatoes. And finally over here we have some black knight scabiosa. Now these are actually putting on quite a bit of size. I haven't pinched them off. I'm just gonna let them put on a little bit more size, but you can see they're doing really good. And I planted these really tight, but I think they're going to be just fine. Same with the zinnias and the dahlias. But again, I just want this to be a very productive space, and I'll make sure to just stay on top of harvesting. I'm so excited that this little flower is already blooming, because when I look at everybody else's garden, I'm like, I promise I know what I'm doing. Anyways, let me show you what we have for this bed. I'm really going to cram more in here, but I'm excited about it. All right, here is the first box that I have to add on to this part of the bed, because there's nothing right here. I did want to mix in some veggies just because I think it'd be fun to come out here again and just harvest some veggies during lunch. So the first one is hot pepper Anaheim, and these will grow about 12 to 18 inches tall and wide, and they take about 80 days to mature. It's kind of the waiting game with those. So I have 3 of those, and then I have this basil here. And you guys, just like picking up this box, the basil is unreal. So here's the next one, is a red Reuben basil. It's so pretty. And you know what, you could probably, well, let's see how tall this gets, because you could also use some of these as filler, like the Thai basil. That's one of my favorite fillers to use in flower arrangements. So let's see, this one gets 18 to 24 inches tall and wide as well. So we can definitely use this as filler, but I think, of course, my plan is just to use this to eat. And then we have the Genovese pesto basil, which it tastes delicious. I already taste tested some of the leaves and they're so yummy. And this one will grow about 24 to 30 inches tall. And then this is the Thai basil, which is very unique and different from the other ones. And I really, again, just love to use it in cut flowers, and it just gives your arrangement a really beautiful scent. Let's see, these grow 20 to 24 inches tall and 12 inches wide. So that's going to be the basil. So this will be the tallest, I believe. And then I have the strawberries. These are the Ozark Beauty, and these are ever-bearing. So what I think I wanted to do is plant them right here, kind of on the long side, so they just kind of drape over right here. Don't you guys think that would be pretty? So I think 2 on this side and then 2 over there. However, the dahlias are over there, but that's okay. I can sneak it in. Maybe like right there in between. So we have 4 of those. And then I think the last herb that I have here is this purple sage. And this will get 24 inches tall and 18 wide. And then for the flowers, the only other flowers that I brought in today are these really cute zinnias. And they're an profusion orange zinnia, and these will get 12 to 18 inches tall and 15 to 18 inches wide. Now my hopes for this zinnia is they're going to act kind of as our supporting flower and our airy accent in our bouquet. So I've talked about when you have a bouquet, you always want to look for focal flowers, fillers, supporting flowers, disc-shaped flowers, and then of course that airy accent. So this is going to act as that. And I also wanted to bring more flowers just to attract more pollinators to my side of the garden. And I think these are such a like pop of color, and they're really like bright and in your face, that I think it's going to make this bed really stand out, which I'm excited about. And then I think I might bring in some Rudbeckias or maybe some Cosmos. I'm not sure yet. I think we should first plant this up because I think I'm being a little bit optimistic here about how much I can realistically fit in here. So let's get these planted and we'll see if we have any more space left. I was trying to keep the veggies and the flowers together, but I also kind of like the idea of having everything just kind of spread out. I don't mind that either. But with the zinnias, let's put them next to each other. And I think I want to do the peppers right back here behind the scabiosa, and we'll just kind of give those a bit of room. With flowers, I don't mind really pushing them. However, with veggies, I do want to give them more room that they require so they just thrive a little bit better. Now I have 3 basils, so I'm thinking the basils will kind of go like this. So in between where those peppers are. Actually, I think I can add a few more basils. So let me go ahead and just do the basils a little bit closer together. And then that will give me room to maybe do one more, maybe two more plants if we're feeling adventurous, which I always am. Let's get these planted. And while I'm planting, I will think about what we do next and open to suggestions. And I'm not going to add any biotone to the bed just because I already have some in here. And I'm just going to go in here. No gloves today, just feel the soil. I think these are going to be such a pollinator magnet. We have a lot of honeybees here on campus and bumblebees, so I just want to give them plenty to snack on. All right, let's tuck in our first strawberry over here. And I'm going to keep the tags, but I want to come in with some cute tags and label everything. I think right here will be perfect. I'm going to just angle it out a little bit, just like this, so it really spills over right over here. I'll just have it tucked right there. Just like that. I almost forgot to tell you guys, there are 2 annuals that were left over from one of our planting projects, ones that I didn't buy, but they were mixed in with the plants that I did buy. So I also tucked in here a Supertunia Hoopla Vivid Orchid, which that color is going to be so bright and cheerful. Not one I would have gone for, but I'm actually super excited to see how it blooms. And then a Superbena Storm Burst Verbena right here. So I cannot wait to see this one also bloom. And here's the thing, when you're planting veggies, I've always found that anytime I plant flowers with the veggies, it helps pollinate things better because the bees and the hummingbirds and whatever pollinators you have in your garden are going to be more attracted to coming to your bed. So like one year I remember one of my friends, she was growing tomatoes and they were taking a long time to start blooming. And she didn't really have a lot of pollinators in her garden. And then I think she came in and she brought in, I think it was some Cosmos. I think it was just like a generic Cosmo that she got at the garden center. And she noticed just more and more pollinator activity in her garden. And I told her, you should always plant flowers. Even if you are a veggie gardener, that's fine. I love that for you. But you should always plant flowers because that really does help attract more pollinators into your garden. So if you have a little space to tuck in, you know, some sort of flower here and there that would benefit them, they're going to want to come and visit your garden and help pollinate things and really get things going. Here are some great examples. This person has a ton of veggies growing in their garden, but they also tucked in some poppies over here. So you can see that is going to help attract pollinators. In fact, most of the veggie gardeners here have some sort of flower in their plot. This one right here, it just always catches my eye. They have, let's see, I think one, two, three, four, five, six tomato plants. They have some squash. I think they have another tomato plant over there. I think I saw some borage in here the other day. And then this beautiful large sunflower. I think there's maybe two of them in here, but just look at how productive this garden has been for them. And just as a reference, these are 4x8 beds. And look at how much we're all growing in these beds. All right, we have all of the veggies in, all of the herbs, some more zinnias. We have space right out here for a couple of things, and then a whole row back there for something else. And then I will pop in another basil right over there. So let's go ahead and get everybody watered in. All right, everybody is watered in and looking good. We do have kind of some warmer days coming up ahead, so I really have to stay on top of watering. That is the one thing about the space is we all have to come in and water our beds. And if one of us is gone, we could always, ask somebody else to come do it. But I have to be diligent and not forget to come. And of course I won't, because come on. Look at how cute these little flowers are. I can never forget about them. And I really do want to just make sure my bed thrives and catches everybody's attention, just because, that's always fun to show off your plants and your veggies. I love the community and camaraderie in that in gardening. Now, because this space has to be all organic gardening, which I actually really love and appreciate, I will probably come in and use something like Bloom from Espoma just for all of our flowers. And then for the tomato, I will use a liquid fertilizer. Espoma also has a really good one that we like to use. Let's see, what else? The dahlias, I might come in and give them a good feed. They've only been in the ground for, I think, 3 weeks now? So they're not quite there yet, but they are pushing out some growth. And again, those are going to be the latest flowering thing. But if I stay on top of fertilizing them, maybe like every 3 weeks, I feel like we can push them and get them to start blooming a little bit earlier than normal. But other than that, they're going to be fine. The zinnias are already starting to bloom, so I haven't pinched any of them off, but I'm going to take that first cut here when I start seeing everybody else start opening up, and that will be their first pinch. And then they're going to really start bushing out and looking beautiful and filling in. Now the tomatoes, again, are the one thing I have to come in and think about what we're going to do to stake them. Again, I don't want to go straight up and down because they're going to get too tall. So I think the arch would be nice. Maybe even like a metal conduit maybe would be nice. Just something to make it look nice. I don't only want to use like PVC, but if I can find one that I can spray paint, then that might be a good solution. If you guys have any ideas, or if you've done anything like that in your garden, let me know down below, and then we can try that in this space. I'm just so excited that I got to show you guys this space. It was like when I was planting it up, when I was flipping this bed and getting it ready, I'm like, oh, I have to show my friends. And you guys are my friends. Like, they're gonna be so excited about this little plot that I have right here. Now again, I still have more room to do, I don't know if I want to do flowers or veggies here. I'm leaning in on flowers. I just don't know which ones quite yet. And then I have, again, 2 more spaces right here. We can do more herbs. I even thought about maybe doing an edible flower, but we do have quite a bit of nasturtiums at home that I still need to plant. So maybe I'll save this space for either another veggie. We could do, maybe just throw some seeds in there. I don't know. I'm open to ideas for this space. I did try to get cucumbers. Couldn't find any good starts. I also was looking for sweet peas, couldn't find any good starts. So we skipped on that, but we still have the space for more veggies. And I don't know if I mentioned, but the dahlias that we have in here are kind of a mix. A couple of them were mystery. Let's see, I think I have Ivanetti and Cornell Bronze. I wanted to do some of the ball varieties that are going to put on a lot of flowers. I don't think I did any dinner plates because those can get kind of big and kind of overtake the space. So hopefully I didn't accidentally do any dinner plates here. All of them are coming up except one, which is right over here. Oh, this is Chewy. And you see how I planted them super shallow? That's because I was so late to getting them in the ground that I didn't want to plant them too deep. I'm just trying to see if there's any growth. No growth yet. We'll just cover that back up. I have backups at home, so worst case scenario, I will bring some more in. But as these start to grow, I'm going to start raising the soil around their stems. That way they don't topple over, and I might stake them, but for now I think they're going to be just fine. I wanted to show you this bed here because I thought this was creative, how they've created this arch. And I think they're growing some sort of bean right here. I don't know what this is. Oh, could it be? Oh, yeah, it is a bean. Look at that. Do you see that? The dark purple. Oh, I wonder what variety that is. That's so pretty. Gosh, even as an ornamental plant, that would be beautiful. We have somebody back here that loves marigolds and tomatoes, and they already have quite a bit of tomatoes on their plants there. And then this one always catches my eye too because they also have zinnias. I'm like, oh, hi, friend. We think alike. They have some really beautiful zinnias right here. Some char, some veggies, nasturtium, onions. Gosh, there was one bed here the other day. Oh, it's this one. Look at their onions. Those are huge. I don't know if you can tell on the screen, but some of these are so big and ready to be harvested. And it's just fun to see what people come up with. I think gardening is such a, like, it reflects your personality a little bit, you know, and you just kind of go for it. Like, look at this bed here. This person just really went for it, planted a bunch of beautiful things. And I adore what they've done. They have cosmos. Let's see, they have 1, 2, 3 cosmos. Their tomato is going kind of wild, but I kind of love that they allow it to do that. My little brain could not do that. And I think that's because of Sergey, because he always likes to keep his tomatoes so tidy all of the time that whenever you see ours, you're like, oh, and I'm like, I know. We really like to just stay on top of getting all of the suckers so they don't get too overgrown, but it makes it nice when we're harvesting. We're not like digging through the plant, but I also like when tomato plants just kind of get wild and, you know, overgrow and kind of do their own thing. That's also fun too. But anyways, it's just fun to see what people come up with. There's a couple of folks back there working in their garden, so we'll just let them peacefully have their moment to themselves and enjoy their space. And I just wanted to show you this bed here because I really admired how these people kept everything so organized. Like, whoever this person is, they are speaking to me. They used bamboo sticks to just outline and separate their veggies so everything kind of stays in its own lane. Look at that. They have red onions growing and those look so good. Oh my gosh. I need to find out who this person is because their onions look beautiful. But anyways, I wanted to show you how fun this is. They even divided things over here. So I really admire how they're gardening in this space. And I also like how this person here has their tomato plants growing. So you can see they have a structure. This was kind of similar to what we were thinking of doing. And then they use a string to tie it at the top and then to come all the way down to the tomato plant right there. So it's growing nice and straight and up this little trellis that they've created for them. The great thing about this, it eliminates the tomato cages and it allows you to have more room to have more plants in a smaller space. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today in my little secret garden. I hope it was fun for you guys to see this little space. Again, I'm just so excited to have this space at work. Like, what a fun incentive for the people who love gardening to come in and really enjoy their time while they're here at work or on their break or anything like that. So anyways, I'm excited to make some bouquets from this space. I'm excited to show you guys how much abundance this bed is going to provide for us and just to see how everything grows throughout the entire season. Anyways, thank you again for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.